Welcome back to another exciting day of graphing our lines. So today in video 8, we are going to be working with systems of equations. Our goal for today, given a system of equations, you will be able to find the solution by graphing and by using your calculator. So you're going to need two things today. Number one, you're going to need a ruler, and number two, you're going to need your calculator. All right, if you've got both of those, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so when we're solving a system of equations graphically, so a couple things you have to remember. In order to graph a line, you have to get the y alone, figure out the slope, the y-intercept. You're going to graph and label each line, and then the solution is going to be where the two lines intersect. Okay, so to solve it, you find and label the point of intersection. Okay, if it's not a perfect point, you have to use the calculator, and then we're going to round our decimals today to the nearest thousandth. And then we can always check our work if we'd like to. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Our first system of equations, f of x equals negative 2x plus 8, h of x equals x plus 2. Now remember, this is function notation. F of x, y of x is just a fancy way of saying y equals. So this is just y equals 2x plus 8. And this one here is just y equals x plus 2. So let's go ahead. Our first line is going to start at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go up to 8. And again, this is our y-axis. This is our x-axis. So you always start on the y. And our slope is negative 2, which means it's really negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1, 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 down 2 to the right 1. And once you have a bunch of points there, we're going to go ahead and connect them all with a straight line. Then you have to pick one of the arrows. I'm going to pick the arrow at the top, and I'm going to write the equation. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. Okay, now I can go to my second line. Y equals x plus 2. So now I'm going to start at 2. So on my y-axis, I go to 2. Now my slope, there's no number in front of the x, so that means my slope is really a 1 over 1. So I go up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1. Once I have a bunch of points there, I can also go down 1 to the left. Then I can go ahead and plot and graph my line. Again, make sure you put arrows at both of the ends. And then at one of the arrows, you have to make sure that you label. So this is y equals x plus 2. Okay, so now that we did all of that work, we can't forget about what the point of this problem was. The point of this problem was to solve the system. So the solution is where they intersect, which is going to be right here. Now we have to, not only do we have to circle it, but we also have to put in the point. So the solution here is the point. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, comma 4, this is our solution. So you want to make sure that you make that very well known, that that is your solution. Okay, now that we solved, if we take a look down at the bottom, there's a couple follow-up questions. The first one, check your solution in the calculator. So I'm going to show you a calculator skill here that's really cool to check your answer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the y equals. So this is our graphing function. So I'm going to go to y equals, make sure everything's cleared out, and now I'm going to type in my two equations. Negative 2. Now remember, for the x, we're using the button next to the green button, the xt theta n, and then plus 8. Then I'm going to go down, and now I'm going to type in my second line, which is just going to be 1x, which is, again, that button under the mode, plus 2. Now let's hit graph. Let's take a look. It looks like my line. Now let's see if they have the same intercept. So to use the intercept, I want everybody to look under the screen. There's a little blue word here that says calculate. To get to the blue, you have to hit the second button and then the calculate button. Now the solution is where they intersect, which is choice 5. So we're going to hit the 5 button. Now, if you look at your screen, in the top, there is an equation, and in the bottom it says first curve. So that just means, are you on your first line? Yes, we are. You're going to hit enter. Now, the cool thing about the calculator, now it says second curve, but it automatically went to our second line. So all you're going to do is hit enter again. Now it says the word guess. So we're going to take that blinking dot and we're going to put it as close to the intersection as possible. And then you're going to hit enter. Now the word intersection is there. There's no more question marks. This is the solution, 2, 4. Is that what we got? Yes, it is. All right, next up we do have one follow-up question. It says, what is the x-intercept of each equation? So just a little reminder, x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. So let's take a look at our first line, negative 2x plus 8, which is this line here. Where does it cross the x-axis? It crosses right here. So that is the point 1, 2, 3, 4, and up and down 0. So this is 4, 0. And that means our second line, so we take this line, we take a look, here's our x-intercept, and that's 1, 2, negative 2, 0. All right, let's go ahead, let's flip it over, and let's try another system of equations. All right, so for this one, now if we take a look, our equations are not in y-intercept form, so we're going to have to do a little manipulation. So my first equation, I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by 4. So y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 6. Over here, I'm going to keep the y there. I'm going to add 5x. So now we get 2y plus 6 is equal to 5x. So now I'm going to subtract 6. 2y is equal to 5x minus 6. Divide by 2. So y is equal to 5 over 2x. Remember, slope's a fraction. Minus 3. Now we have everything we need to graph. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my equations, or my axes. And now we can graph. So let's take a look. My first equation, my y-intercept is 6. So I go up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my slope is negative 3 over 4. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 and go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down 3 over 4. Down 3 over 4. And then I'm going to use those to create my line. 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. I goofed on that one a little bit, but now I have it fixed. It all goes into a straight line. Okay, and then at one of the arrows, I'm going to pick the top one, I write my equation. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at my second line. This time my equation starts at negative 3, so I'm going to count down to 3. 1, 2, 3. And then my slope is 5 over 2, so I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right 2. Up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right 2. Up 5, 3, 4, 5 to the right 2. All right, and then I can connect my points. And make sure at one of the arrows we write the equation. Okay, we just did all of this hard work, so now we need to make sure that we actually answer the question. The question said, solve the system. So let's look carefully. Is there a solution? Yes, there is. It is right here. But if you look carefully at that solution, it is not a perfect point. It's not right on one of the crossings for the perfect integer values. So that means we're going to have to use our calculator to find the solution. And here it even tells us round the solution to the nearest hundredth. So let's go ahead. We're going to take our calculators. We're going to go to the y equals. We're going to clear everything out, and we're going to type in our equation. Negative 3 divided by 4x plus 6. I'm going to go down and I type in my second equation. 5 divided by 2x minus 3. I hit graph. All right, so it looks like we match up. So now to find the intersection, it's under the word calculate. So I have to hit the second button, the calculate button, and then I'm going to go down to option 5, intersect. Now I have to follow the direction. So I look at the blinking dot. It's now on my first line. I hit enter. All right, now it says second curve. It already jumped to my second line, so I hit enter. Then I'm going to move the blinking dot so it's close to the intersection, and I hit enter. So here's my intersection. So it looks like they are irrational solutions, which is okay because it told me to round to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to come here and write solution. So my solution is to the nearest hundredth. So 2.7. Now there's a 6 there, but the number behind it's a 9, so I'm going to round up to 7, comma 3.92. And now we have our solution there. We've rounded to the nearest hundredth. All right, we've got one problem left, and I'm going to have you take a look here. Let's see. Solve the system of equations graphically. Round to the nearest hundredth, or I'm sorry, the nearest tenth. All right, so once again, we're going to have to use our calculators to help us out. So the first thing you have to do is change both of these into y-intercept form. So let's go ahead and do that. So my first equation, I got y equals negative 1/3 x plus 6. Now let's take a look at the second equation. Add 4x, and y is equal to 4x minus 2. Okay, at this point, I'm going to have you pause the video. I'm going to have you graph both of these, and then I'm going to have you actually find the solution in the calculator all by yourselves and plug it in. All right, let's double check. Did you get the graph? And were you able to get 1.8 and 5.4? All right, nice job, everybody. Have a great night.